Welcome to part 14 of the mamafratelli Jeep build. We're taking this old broken down 1984 Jeep Cherokee and we're turning her into a screen accurate reproduction of mamafratelli's getaway ORV from the 1985 movie The Goonies. This brief clip shows the Jeep as it appeared on screen during the beach chase scene in The Goonies. Throughout this project we're comparing movie footage, production photos, and details from cast and crew to recreate the most screen accurate version possible. Goonies Day, June 7th, 2025 was approaching fast. Anne's debut at the Goonies' 40th anniversary celebration in Astoria, Oregon was quickly becoming a reality and the clock wasn't slowing down for anyone. Let's pick up where episode 13 left off. The front clip is finally assembled and now our focus shifts to the dozens of tasks, both large and small, that stand between us and the finish line. The rear lights are giving me problems. I purchased 2 replacement sockets, but they were wrong. I'll have to fix the sockets that I wasn't able to find. The ground wire was slightly corroded and was losing contact inside the base of the bulb. So I cleaned the wire and soldered the wire to the base. We'll come back to the remaining lights later once I get the correct replacement sockets for the ones I couldn't repair. I still hadn't addressed the coil wiring. I don't know what the old owners did, but the wires were not connected correctly. I can't risk the possibility of driving and having one of them lose contact. Anne doesn't just need to look good, she needs to run well too. Without being able to find a replacement connector and pigtail, I was forced to replace them, which may not be factory, but it will be a permanent fix. I removed their makeshift repair, cleaned the copper wire so I'd get a good connection, then soldered and attached spade terminals, marine-grade heat shrink tubing to seal the connection, and additional heat shrink to insulate the connector. Okay, so with any luck, I can put this back on there. I just put on like that, and there, we're good. I don't think they're coming off or going anywhere. Since paint is the next major item on the list, I continued with the external cosmetics. All right, it is time to remove the passenger side mirror because mamafratelli's ORV does not have a passenger side mirror, even though every Jeep Cherokee that's ever been produced, 1984 and since, has a passenger side mirror. Mama's does not. And just like that, one mirror gone. I needed to remove all the badges. Badges are the labels that are placed on the vehicle like Jeep, Cherokee, 4-wheel drive, etc. I measured where they were all located so that I know where to put them back after Anne gets her new paint. These badges are also metal. They are not plastic. So this one here looks like it'll come off pretty easily, but I also don't want to bend it either. So yeah, so here we go. There we go. That one's off. At this point, I hadn't test fit the wheels. Oh no! I instantly was disappointed and stressed because the wheel studs weren't long enough to put the lug nuts on. I was also worried about the oblong bolt pattern some of the wheels had and wondered how I was going to be able to center the wheel correctly. I'd like to pause and take this opportunity to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to click the bell to get notified of our next video. We also post different content on our TikTok and Instagram accounts. You can keep up to date on appearances and updates via our Facebook group. We would also like to invite you to join our Patreon for awesome rewards or a direct donation through Cash App, which directly benefits this expensive rebuild process. Any support is very much appreciated. Thank you. If we get longer studs and we put them in, these are going to work. And this width is the same width as this one, the original. So I think it's going to work. I've pulled the stud from the back. That's why it's missing one right there. It's a 1/2 inch by 20 is a thread pitch. It needs to be 2 inches long with a .615 knurl and a 1/4 inch deep knurl. I've got 10 of these on order from Amazon. They should be here in a couple days, so I'll change out the rear wheel studs. The front are actually hub assemblies, and I can't get the studs out right now, so I have to remove the hub assembly. Once I remove the hub assembly, then I can change the studs out. But the hub assemblies are old, very old, so I'm just going to replace the hub assemblies, and I'll replace the studs in the hub assemblies before I reinstall them. Well, I've been waiting on this piece. On the Jeep Cherokees, they have 3 different boots. They have the primary boot right here that seals the transmission. They have another boot that goes over that seals the body. And then they have the 3rd boot that goes over, and that's the one that you see, the beauty boot, or the one for aesthetic reasons. I have not been able to find this one. Every one that I've ordered has been too small for this hole for whatever reason. So this right here is actually from a Mack truck, or maybe it's a Kenworth, I don't know, but it was the only one that I could find that would fit. So I've got to, I've already started to put it down, so we're gonna put it down the rest of the way, and then I have to cut this and push this down around the stick a little bit, and then we'll take a nylon wire tie and we'll tie this back together. So we've got the boot in, and I have test fit this piece right here. Does this look familiar, guys? This right here is screen accurate. So this obviously gets cleaned up, repainted, and I'll probably, if I have time, I'll probably end up putting this on for the 40th, along with this too. There are a lot of things that we need to do to this door, and I don't have all the parts yet, but we are going to get started. Mama Fratelli's Jeep does not have a wing window, so we have to take all this off. We have to take this piece off and this whole thing and transfer the old door innards to this one right here. Also, this door that I got is a power window, so we have to take the motor out. We have to take the electric door lock actuator, that thing right there, we have to take that out. Essentially, we have to put everything that's there over here, and everything from here gets scrapped along with the old door over there. So at the end of the day, we have the new window installed. We have everything else installed. We have a new lock, which I have not had a key for this thing since I've owned it. Look at that. So that's new. The handle is on the way. I've got a new handle for here and 2 new handles for the other side. And the mirror is also on the way for over here. So once we get the mirror, and that handle and the 2 handles on the other side should be ready for paint. I didn't film it, but I just got through replacing the door handle. I didn't have a lot of time tonight to work on it. And then we've also got temporarily this handle in too, so that, and this is broken, the spring's broken on it, so it needs a new one. But this is interior stuff, not too worried about it right now. I just want to make sure that the guys tomorrow at the restoration shop can get in and out of it easily. She's good to go to the restoration shop tomorrow and get the roof seam redone because she's cracked. But they're going to take care of it tomorrow. So, oh yeah, and they're also going to get my door aligned. No time like the present. It's time to go. So unlike the last time we were here, she made it without any problems. That's awesome. Anne is staying the night at the restoration shop, letting the work that they did today cure. I'm not going to let this time go to waste. Here's a little backstory. Last year we purchased this used van for my automotive business. This was the same vehicle that will be towing Mama's Jeep to and from Astoria. However, the van was not originally equipped with the factory trailer package, so I installed a receiver hitch and purchased the original equipment trailer wiring, the same stuff that would have been installed from the factory. Tonight, I was able to get the wiring connector installed. There are so many things happening right now, stick with me. I went to the tire shop to see about putting some rubber on Mama's wheels. And now we're stopping by Mako, not because this is going to be the final paint job, but because it'll be some paint job and we need some paint job, so something is better than nothing at this point. After Mako, my wife dropped me off to pick up Anne from the restoration shop. All right, We are done. We are headed out. I have no passenger side mirror. Just like that, she's back home where she belongs. And now the work continues. The other day we dropped off a single wheel at the tire shop to see if they had something that would work. They did, so today we're bringing the rest of the wheels down to have the tires mounted. Awesome, guys, so here they are. Tread pattern, it's a tread pattern. We are going to put the tire stickers over the over this part right here. So the tire stickers are going to go around the outside. It should look pretty dang close to on screen. This is our best option. So just in case you're interested, I've got all the socials on the back of it. I'm doing like a, you recognize it now? Yeah. For the 40th anniversary is coming up in June 7th in Astoria, is where it was filmed. Yeah. I have to have this damn thing done by that time, so I'm like stressing hardcore.
Hey, at least you're kind of at the last thing where you're at the wheel part.
Yeah, one of the last things.
I know.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
The windshield wiper cowl had been nicked years ago during a windshield replacement. At the time, it wasn't an issue because a large rubber windshield seal completely covered the damage. Now that we're replacing that rubber seal with the correct metal windshield trim for screen accuracy, those nicks would be visible, so they need to be repaired. Finding the correct single washer nozzle cowl, the same type that was used on Mama Fratelli's Jeep, has proven to be nearly impossible. I did manage to find one, but the seller wanted $175 for it. Instead, we're going to repair the original and save a little money. A bit of plastic body filler followed by some careful grinding and sanding should make it look like the damage was never there. I replaced both of the rear door handles. Since I needed to remove the interior door panels to do this, I've decided to paint them now, even if only temporarily, so that Anne will be a little bit more presentable for Goonies weekend. I cleaned, painted, and reinstalled both of the rear door panels and interior door handles. I was amazed to see how awesome it looked. I received the new front hubs along with the longer wheel studs, which are needed to properly mount the front wheels. I installed the longer ones into both new hubs. Now that I've confirmed they work, I'll order another set of longer studs for the rear. Well, this is an unfortunate development. Last night, I installed the new speakers up front. I ran the wires up over here, and I have attached all of these stereo wires, and this whole long harness right here is a stereo. But everything is soldered and heat shrunk. And I also installed the speaker down here. And after I'm done, I go to start the vehicle up, and what happens? Cranks, no start. I don't know if I inadvertently knocked something back behind the column, but all she does is crank. So I need to figure out what I did, and this is fairly imperative that I need to figure this out because we go down for paint either the end of this week or Monday. First thing we're going to do is test for spark. We do have spark coming from the coil. We do have spark at the spark plug. I pulled the spark plug, it's completely dry. There's no fuel in the carburetor. I'm thinking I ran out of gas. That's embarrassing. So we're going to go and we're going to grab some gas and put it in here, and hopefully everything will be okay. Gotta crank it to get that gas up there. And once the gas gets up there, it starts right up. Don't I feel like a moron? All right, let's go get some gas in this thing so this doesn't happen again, and we'll be able to test out the fuel gauge. I just thought that the fuel gauge wasn't working, but apparently maybe it is working. Oh my gosh. Well, it looks like the fuel gauge works. Nice. So glad that problem is behind us. I decided to paint the front door panels, even though they're the wrong ones. They're all that we have, and time is not on our side. So we'll revisit the correct panels later when we begin to tackle the interior. The paint shop called. We are going down to get Anne painted.
9 miles away, we made it. Woo! And she drove pretty well for an old girl.
Currently going and finding imperfections because the black is just like, it's going to be so revealing for everything. So we have stuff like this right here, dings that you can actually see in the light, the reflection. At least those will be taken care of. One last look before she gets painted. My Neapolitan Jeep is going to be all black. It's horrible lighting right now, but there we go, that's a lot better. So there we go. Since Anne is at the paint shop, I'm taking this opportunity to install the factory wiring harness for the trailer. One of these goes over here to this tail light, and then it goes up and over there and down there to that tail light, and then it's supposed to go up and over on the inside, which is impossible now. So I'm actually going to take it down below and up to the front cab. Wiring for the trailer hitch is 100% complete. All the way up to the battery. So we are good to go. We are ready to tow.